I really like it. I just don't know if I have the money to do it right now.
I totally understand not having the money. When I saw World Ventures, I'm just telling you, I did not want to tell the man this, but I did not have the money in my checking account. So I literally pulled out an almost hot credit card because I have a really bad shopping problem. And I pulled out that credit card, crossed my fingers and hoped that it went through. Here's what I knew. I knew that I was sick and tired of not having any money. And I know you're sick and tired of not having any money. See, $365 when you're 80 years old, $365 is, you're not gonna look back at your life and go, that $365 just broke me. But what if you look back at your life and when you're 80 years old and said that $365 completely changed my life. See, this 365 has completely changed my life. I have time and money freedom like I've never had before. So, you ready to get started?
Bethany does a great job here of agreeing with her prospect, and then she goes on and really does a wonderful job of giving a logical argument, if you will, on why getting started in this business really is sort of inexpensive when you look at what might come from it. Now, she says 365 there. Just to understand that as we film that, that was the full amount if you were going to go ahead and get the full product and become involved as a representative. That was, if you will, the most someone could put into it. But understand, she would have at this point already explained to the person, you don't need to buy the product to be a rep, and you don't need to be a rep to buy the product. That's all certainly something that was part of the presentation. And this is if she was talking to someone who did want to do the business and did want to go ahead for the maximum, if you will, with the 365. And at that point, she clearly lets them know that even though that's not an insignificant amount of money, when you look at it in the big picture, you see what she did there. She just really made a clever point and a really valid point. Again, remember, everything we're doing was within our core values. That was something that you can feel really comfortable saying to anyone you know, because there's a lot of truth in that. Not everyone is going to succeed when they get involved in our business, but for that amount of money to have a wonderful product and a business opportunity and a chance to really change your life if you are constantly in a position in your life where you don't have enough money, I think what she said made a lot of sense there.
I really like it. I just don't know if I have the money to do it right now.
I get it. I've been there too. I mean, it's funny. I was in college one time. There was an opportunity that was $1,500 to get started. Now, in college and money didn't really mix for me. I didn't have like a nickel or a dime to even rub, not even a nickel and a dime to even rub together. And so here's what I did. Okay, I went out and I acted as if I was doing it, okay? Because in my head, I was sold. I wanted to do this, okay? But the money thing was really just a little speed bump. See, the thing is, we don't want your money, we want your desire, okay? And so if you see yourself doing this, we just have to figure out and get creative how to get the money. But back to my story, I went out and I borrowed the money to get started. Okay, and I also, in the process of borrowing the money, I was out there doing presentations. So I already had sales lined up. And so when I finally got the money after I borrowed it, it took me a day, okay, I put those sales in and made my money back my first day. Now that was my story. That's what happened to me. The thing is, you want to ask yourself is, do you have the desire? Do you see yourself successful with World Ventures? And the thing is if you're not going to put the time and effort into this, then don't even worry about having the money because you're not going to do it. But if you see yourself doing this, get creative and find the money.
Jefferson does a lot of things great here on this clip. He obviously tells his story, and what he does that I really like in particular here is he really qualifies this prospect. If you're not, we want your desire. If you're not really excited about this, then there's no point in getting the money, certainly to do the business. Maybe you'd still get the money to buy the product, but if you're not really excited about the product, you probably shouldn't do that either. I love the fact that he's making it clear that if you're not excited, let's not even talk about this, but if you are passionate about it, then maybe like in his situation telling his story, then maybe like me, you should do what I did and figure out a way to get your hands on the money so you can take advantage of the opportunity. And he states your life depends on it. Well, maybe he's saying that because I know Jefferson before network marketing and after network marketing, and his life is dramatically different. So I think you can see why he's so passionate about overcoming this objection. Where would he be if he had let that stop him so many years ago?
I really like it. I just don't know if I have the money to do it right now.
Yeah, man, how does it feel to say that? Not so good, right? When I saw this for the very, very first time, I didn't have the money either. I'm not proud of that, but I didn't have the money either. But I knew one very simple thing. If I didn't figure out how to change my life, I was always going to continue to have what I always had. So what I had to do is I had to do something different. I had to figure it out. I personally had to put it on a credit card. And because of that, my life has changed dramatically. Because I made that one decision in time, that one decision on that one day when someone decided to show me World Ventures, I thought differently. See, my whole life I'd been saying things like, I don't have the money. And so I kept not getting money. But that one day I saw World Ventures, everything changed. I decided that day that I was going to figure out how to get the money. So I'll challenge you. Is this that day for you? And if it is that day for you, maybe that day is today where your life can be different also. So again, do you want to go ahead and make that change? Do you want to go ahead and bet on yourself today like I did? You ready to get started?
By now, I'm sure you're starting to realize that a lot of these answers are pretty doggone repetitive, which is a good thing. They're following the formula I shared with you earlier, and a lot of the way these people are handling objections very effectively is they're simply telling their story. All Jeremy did there is tell his true, honest story of how he got involved, and at the end he's just being maybe a little bit more assertive than a new person might be by saying, so are you ready for this to be your day? But again, there's nothing pushy about what he's doing. He's simply calling someone to action. He's saying, it worked for me. Are you ready to make a change in your life? Hopefully, you'll easily see that by the time you're done with this video and you've watched these again and again and again, that that's the posture we're talking about. The posture of someone who knows that what you're sharing with someone is really a great opportunity for them. The product is a really valuable product for them. So you'll feel comfortable calling people to action, knowing that it's some of the best money they're going to spend all year long.
Hey, I really like it, but I just don't have the money to do it right now.
Yeah, I understand how you feel. You know, times are tough. I don't think it does either of us any good if I sit here and sugarcoat it for you. To me, we live in America, and this is the wealthiest country there's ever been. And as an adult, if you don't have $365, you're telling me that you haven't been able to save 4 quarters a day for the last year of your life. This is what I know. If you want to keep that lifestyle, you can keep it. But if you want something different, let's do something different, man. I'm throwing you a life raft right now. I'm willing to go to work for free with you and for you to help you build a paycheck and help you change that lifestyle. So if you don't have the money right now, we'll figure it out. I know there's some way. Don't think of all the reasons why you can't come up with the money. Let's together think of some reasons how you can. But this is what I know. If you and I team up, we can get you out of that situation. So $365 is never an issue for you ever again. You ready to get started and come with me?
I love the way Eric is very direct and honest in his approach here. He even says he's not going to sugarcoat it. But by basically saying, by not having $365, there's 365 days in a year, that you haven't been able to save 4 quarters a day for the last year, that's just a really good way to get people to understand maybe that what they're doing, their plan A, isn't working as well as they want to, and therefore if they want things to change, perhaps they need to think a little bit differently. I think he did a wonderful job with that, and again, as I shared with Eric's earlier commentary, he is telling people, if you figure out a way to get started, I'm going to be here to help you. Again, if you're not working the business more than a couple hours a week and you can't help the people you get on your team that way, don't say those kinds of things. We never want to overpromise. But if you are working the business and you are going to be able to help your team members, then it's a good thing to let them know you're going to be there for them, make them a lot more comfortable, figure out a way to make this happen.